findings. Between 24th September and 16th October 1992, and again from 27 December 1992 to 20th March 1993, a number of Serbs were captured by Bosnian Muslim fighters and detained at the Srebrenica Police Station. We will be showing you photos of this building. And during the second time period, also at a building behind the Srebrenica municipal building, to which we shall be referring as the building during this summary. You should also be seeing now in the background the second building, which we will be referring to as the building. While they were generally exposed to the same appalling living conditions as the local population, the condition of the prisoners was significantly exacerbated by the maltreatment that we will now describe. On the 24th of September 1992, Dragutin Kukic was captured by Bosnian Muslim fighters and transferred to the Srebrenica police station. The next day he was taken to the reception room in that building. Perhaps Madam Usher can show a layout of this building. And the reception room is the room at the extreme bottom left of the sketch. So the next day he was taken to the reception room in that building, where he was beaten. After Kukic cursed the mothers of two guards who were beating him, one of them, a certain Kemo Mehmetovic, known as Kemo, forcefully hit Kukic on the chest with a log of wood. Kukic lost any sign of life immediately, and all attempts to revive him proved fruitless. The following day, Kemo disposed of Kukic's corpse in a water reservoir outside Srebrenica and fired several shots at it. For the reasons explained in the judgment, the trial chamber is satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that the circumstances of Dragutin Kukic's death fulfill the elements of murder. Jakov Djokic. He was confined in a stable in the area of Cerska under horrid conditions for almost 8 months before being brought to Srebrenica in January 1993. After a short period of detention at the Srebrenica Police Station, he was transferred to the building. At both locations, he was routinely beaten and maltreated with various objects, including sticks and rifle butts. Jakov Djokic was last seen alive on 21st March 1993. There is no direct evidence of the death of Jakov Djokic. As to circumstantial evidence, there is only vague evidence hinting that subsequently he succumbed to injuries caused by beatings while in detention. This vague evidence, however, does not reach the standard of proof required as detailed in the judgment. The trial chamber cannot conclude with certainty that he was killed as alleged while being detained at the building. Dragan Ilic, Milisav Milovanovic, Kostadin Popovic, and Branko Sekulic. They were all detained at the Srebrenica Police Station and at the building as of December 1992 or January 1993. They were routinely beaten and maltreated with various objects. Dragan Ilic died on an unspecified date between 9th February and 20th March 1993. Milisav Milovanovic died in early February 1993 after repeated beatings by a youth who was allowed to enter the building. Kostadin Popovic died on or about the 6th of February 1993. Branko Sekulic died on or about the 19th of March 1993. For the reasons stated in the judgment, the trial chamber is satisfied that all these incidents of killings fulfill the elements of murder. Between 24th September and 16th October 1992, Neđeljko Radić, Zoran Branković, Nevenko Bubanje, and Veselin Sarac were detained in a small cell at the Srebrenica Police Station. On the 5th of October 1992, they were joined by Slavoljub Zikic. Apart from being interrogated, all of them were subjected to severe beatings and other maltreatment while in confinement, maltreatment sometimes resulting in bone fractures. On one occasion, some of the teeth of Neđeljko Radić were forcibly extracted by Kemo, who afterwards urinated in his mouth, purportedly to disinfect the wound. Maltreatment took place mostly at night, both inside the cell and in the reception room, and was inflicted by or in the presence of Kemo, a certain Murki, a certain Beli, and others who had entered the police station from the outside. On one occasion, Slavoljub Zikic was also beaten by Mirzet Halilovic, the military police commander. Zikic described the other detainees as more like dead people than people who were still alive. All of them were eventually exchanged. For the reasons stated in the judgment, the trial chamber finds that the treatment suffered by these individuals is serious enough to amount to cruel treatment within the meaning of Article 3 of the statute, and it was inflicted with the required intent. Between 27 December 1992 and 20th March 1993, Ilija Ivanović, Ratko Nikolić, Rado Pejic, Stanko Mitrovic, and Mile Trifunovic were confined at the Srebrenica Police Station for a few days before being transferred to the building. In this building, they were interrogated and severely maltreated. Ilija Ivanović, for example, was beaten all over his body with rifle butts, metal rods, and baseball bats, and was also stabbed with knives. His cheekbone was broken and he frequently lost consciousness. 5 of Ratko Nikolic's ribs were broken when an unidentified man stomped on him. The body weight of Rado Pejic was reduced to some 30 kilograms during his time in Srebrenica. Maltreatment occurred usually at night, both by guards and persons who entered both buildings from outside. On occasions, even Bosnian Muslim fighters participated in the maltreatment. All of these detainees were eventually exchanged. For the reasons stated in the judgment, the trial chamber finds that the treatment suffered by them is serious enough to amount to cruel treatment within the meaning of Article 3 of the statute, and that it was inflicted with the required intent. Responsibility of the accused. We shall now consider whether the accused, Nasser Orić, is criminally responsible for these crimes as a superior. Since this is a summary, we do not go into the details of the trial chamber's legal assessment elaborated in the judgment, but this summary is limited to the following salient points. As stated earlier, the accused is only charged with superior criminal responsibility under Article 7.3 of the statute, and not with having committed murder and cruel treatment himself. The trial chamber finds that 4 elements must be fulfilled to establish criminal responsibility of a superior. First, an act or omission incurring criminal responsibility according to Articles 2 to 5 and 7.1 of the statute has been committed by a principal perpetrator by acts or omissions. Second, the accused stood in a superior-subordinate relationship with the principal perpetrator. Third, the accused as a superior knew or had reason to know that the subordinate was about to commit such crimes or had done so. And fourth, the accused as a superior failed to take the necessary and reasonable measures to prevent such crimes or punish the perpetrator. The trial chamber explains in detail in the judgment that superior criminal responsibility under 7.3 of the statute is not restricted to positive acts of subordinates, but includes acts of omissions and participation. Consequently, for the purpose of superior criminal responsibility under Article 7.3 of the statute, the direct perpetrators of a crime punishable under the statute need not be identical to the subordinates of a superior. It is only required that the relevant subordinates, by their own acts or omissions, be criminally responsible for the injuries inflicted on the victims.